mood after a 3-0 start?
Mood is great, obviously. I mean, that's kind of started you on. Played some extra minutes, which is great. We found a way to win, so it's a good start for us.
What's the most encouraging thing about it so far, you think?
I think we found ways early on, which is great. I mean, obviously we had a great first game, scoring a lot of goals, and was a game where we kind of were in and out. And then obviously, last game was a big win for us.
It's the first 3-0 start in franchise history. Do you know if you've gone 3-0 before?
I have no clue, to be honest. No. It made us at the end, not at the beginning, I guess.
From your experience, what does the start mean to this season? Is it meaningful? Does it get you off on the right foot? Can you sustain it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely very important. I mean, coming off with a good start is obviously it's good. I mean, you don't want to change wins and all that stuff. So it's something which is very important to get a few wins early on and feel good about yourself. Feel about get a good feeling in the locker room, and that's something which is very important.
How much attention did you guys pay maybe to the outside noise of where people were predicting you guys would finish or what kind of team you'd be? Do you kind of just block that all out and focus on internally, or is there almost a bit of a chip on the shoulder for those who maybe have doubted a team that had 110 points last season?
I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, I think we had a decent start last year. I mean, if you look at Edmonton last year, they had a horrible start. They don't have a good start this year, and they end up being in the finals and almost win the Stanley Cup. So it's, I mean, always a start is great to have a good start, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's such a long season, and you gotta make hay while the sun is shining. And there's gonna be tough times during the season, which things are not going well. So it's good you have a good start and a few early points.
Is that where maybe with this group you've got so many of the same faces back here? It's good that you guys know how to weather those ups and downs because you've kind of been through that all as a group before?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I mean, we had a good start, which is great, but we have now 4 days off, kind of, where you kind of recharge your batteries. You got to go over the details, which we know we can do a lot of things still better. Start clicking with some line mates and all that stuff. So it's something which we know we have to get better at, and then we start over, and it's going to be a busy schedule after that.
You've been in the league a long time. Have you ever seen that face-off play work that Adam and Mark pulled off the other day with, 2.9 seconds left?
To be honest, I'm not 100% sure if I've ever been a part of it, but it was great. It worked out, and yeah, it was awesome. Good to see.
You'd rather not have got 4 days off after being successful through 3 games.
I mean, you kind of want to get going. I mean, you rather want to have that break later on in the season. I mean, obviously we had a long trainers camp. It was great to get things going, and you kind of want to get the pace going for a little bit instead of having 4 days off and then be in the run basically till Christmas.
You know, obviously part of me had a great start, 3-0, all of that. What's it going to take to get to that next level where you're creating even more, from the middle of the ice as a team?
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely can be quicker throughout the neutral zone. I think that's something which we emphasize in practice right now to make sure we get between the blue lines and make sure we get pucks in deep and got to find a way to get them back also, and not just be like a rush team and be one and done. And I think that's something which we definitely can be better at.
Scott O'Neill talks about that exact type of formula. He's often pointing at your guys' line as the standard bearers for it. What kind of pride do you take that in personally, knowing that this is going to be the way that we play?
I mean, it's definitely a lot of pride we take as a line. I mean, we obviously work extremely hard on it and want to lead by example, but at the same time, I mean, the skill set we're Shive and those guys have, that's obviously an elite skill set, so that they can do a lot more than probably we can, but we definitely want to make sure we push in the right direction, that down there it's where a lot of good things happen.
You've had just the one road game, Nino, but how much, if any, does it change in terms of the deployment of yourself and Mason and Adam to be out there when whether there's a hard match or a certain circumstance, because Arnie has the last say at home, but he does it on the road. So does that change anything for you guys at all?
I mean, sometimes it varies with ice time a little bit, I guess, but overall, I mean, we take the ice whenever Arnie tells us to do, and we try to do our best possible to downplay the top guys they have. So it's something which we know we have to do and we gotta do, but at the same time we gotta focus on us and know what we can do to help this team score some goals and all that stuff.
And the idea that nobody's expecting 7 points out of the line every game, but are you happy with the consistency that you've been able to show early in these first 3 games? It's almost like you haven't missed a beat from last season.
Yeah, I mean,
about your line in particular.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we take a lot of pride. We work extremely hard on it, and we expect a lot from one another. I mean, we don't like making mistakes. We want to make sure we lead by example and do all the little things right, and hopefully other lines can follow us and see what's been clicking for us. So it's something we take a lot of pride in.
when you say you take a lot of pride in, who's the bad cop on that? Or you're the elder statesman of the hockey club. Are you giving it to Adam and Mason, or is it all equal?
It's tough to say. I mean, obviously, Appy would say he's more the emotional guy, a little bit on the line. Adam is always his leadership. I mean, he goes out there and do whatever it takes. And I mean, I am kind of the older guy a little bit in that, and try to calm him down every once in a while and be the positive input when I can. So I guess I'm trying to kind of loosen up the line a little bit, I guess.